Hey there, my name is Anthony Romano, and in this video I'm going to tell you about fat burners on a ketogenic diet, which ones are the best, which ones are worth you putting your money into. So if you're doing a ketogenic diet for fat loss, you might be interested in adding in some fat burners depending on the due date that you have for your diet. If you have a vacation, if you have a bodybuilding show, if there's any sort of deadline and you need to reach that deadline a little bit quicker, these are some things that can be helpful. So first of all, some of these products aren't necessarily fat burners or stimulants, but I'll explain the gist of them to you. So the first thing here is exogenous ketones. So as far as fat loss concerns you, these are a great appetite suppressant. They're honestly my favorite and most effective appetite suppressant I've ever experienced. It's because basically you're giving your body energy, and your body's not going to be as hungry if it has energy. Hunger is almost a response to your body to go, hey, go out and get some food. That's what hunger essentially is. And these things do have a wall. You don't want to be consuming too much because they will essentially prioritize your body to consume them and use them for energy rather than making its own ketones. So too much of these things in excess can halt your fat loss. So it's a tight line you're going to be walking, but there's a lot of leeway to it. So if you're having small amounts of this every couple days, it's going to be helpful at keeping you in ketosis and reducing your appetite, helping you get a little bit more out of yourself on lower calorie days. So this one is just more so a good thing to have for all keto diets, and even though it's not entirely necessary, it will help and make things a lot smoother. Now for actual fat burners, the role of ketones is much more of an appetite suppressant. There are some appetite suppressants out there. They're not entirely necessary. If you're doing keto, you'll probably have adequate appetite suppression anyways and satiation with your food. But if you are going to get an actual fat burner, I would say something like L-carnitine. So L-carnitine is an amino acid that actually helps your body use fats, and it basically helps you use them for energy. It helps oxidize fats and basically help you convert them and use them as energy. So when you're taking L-carnitine, it's very beneficial if you're doing things like cardio. I always tell people that carnitine is something that it'll work as hard as you do. So the more you're doing, the more activities you're doing, especially if you're on a keto metabolism, your body's already going to be in a fat burning mode. This is going to basically help escort those fats out of your body. That's essentially the role of this guy. And you can use CLA with it. It kind of amplifies the effects if you use a CLA and carnitine. But if I had to pick just one, I would pick the L-carnitine. Just very helpful for a lot of functions in your body. Getting rid of fat is one of them. So it isn't necessarily a stimulant. You're not going to have stimulant effects from either of these unless they have coffee mixed in with them. I always like to get the carnitine in pills or powder because it tends to be a better unit cost that way. But you can get it also in liquid. Now, for the next one, you can get fat burners with actual stimulants in them. I have one that I got a while ago. It's just a basic hydroxycut one with a little bit of stimulant, like 100 and something caffeine, a little bit of L-theanine, a couple other appetite suppressions, a couple other thermogenics. So thermogenics are basically things that slightly increase your body temperature so you can burn more calories. At the end of the day, it's a little bit reliant on you to not overeat calories. So if you're somebody who's eating a crappy diet, they're not going to get you that far. But if you did want a basic complex with stimulants in it, there's a couple fat burners you can go to. There's another one that is pretty solid. It's called Slim Vance. It's from GNC, but you can get it there. But in general, any sort of fat burner with a little bit of stimulant, a little bit of something like carnitine or CLA in there is basically all you really need. If you do need that extra kick, I'd recommend something with caffeine in it. And, perhaps you can get a better bang for your buck if you get a caffeinated fat burner with some oxidizing agents in there like L-carnitine and CLA. But if I had to pick just a couple, I basically have it like this. I'll have this every now and then for various purposes. I have a video on it as well if you're interested in seeing the other uses of ketone products. I'll basically take this every now and then. Helps me with fasting, helps me with appetite suppression, take this on workout days. The L-carnitine helped me get more out of my fat burn. And then on a very, very rainy day, if I need a little more kick or if I have a lot on my plate that day, I'll throw in a stimulant-based fat burner, something with a little bit more thermogenic. If maybe it's towards the end of my cut and I really need my body to just be burning fat like a machine, which isn't really the best. You should have a longer date of your timeline of dieting, but this is like a rainy day, you know, pull this one out when you're getting down to crunch time. So that's essentially the gist of which fat burners you could use or could need on a ketogenic diet to amplify your results as best as possible. Hopefully that gave you a little more clarity. Click the little notification bell if you like this video. Thank you to everybody who keeps giving me the constant support. I really appreciate that. You know who you are. And besides that, thanks for watching. Peace.